I have a lot of crazy ideas, but having an idea and executing is another story. Hi, my name is Sue Song. I'm a director of Cosplay America. Cosplay America started with one idea and then constantly changing every year. Even among the attendees or the guests, they always bring something that I did not know. The peoples are very creative, and I think they deserve a community that they could learn and they could go and they could kind of connect with everybody because they all have the same hobby.
I had a friend who went to a convention and basically described it as being Halloween, not in October, and I was in, and the rest is history. I couldn't stop.
My favorite part of cosplay is becoming something I can't be in real life.
Cosplay is my big thing. Like, I love video games and stuff, but I go to a lot of anime conventions just for cosplay.
My favorite part is the community interaction, getting to meet so many wonderful people and gleaning their knowledge and being able to pass on your own knowledge as well. I'm December Wynn and I'm a cosplayer.
I'm Manela and I'm a cosplayer.
I'm Kazul of Casplay, and I'm a cosplayer.
I'm Jenny Barclay, and I'm a cosplayer. I've been dressing up as young anime boys for 20 years.
Definitely gonna use that one.
I learned to make my cosplay outfits by kind of making stuff up as I went along. So when I started, the internet wasn't the resource that it is now. We didn't have YouTube. Wow. In my day, we had dinosaurs.
When I first started out, I got a little $10 sewing machine from a garage sale. It was like a really old 1952 Singer sewing machine. And I just did trial and error, basically. I wish that I had these kind of resources when I first started out, especially all these really technical panels on specific things. I think it's fantastic. I've never actually been or even heard of another convention that's cosplay-centric.
Cosplay is so huge, and there's so many different disciplines within it. Teaching each other is how we'll elevate the hobby as a whole.
I've never been brought as a cosplayer to a con with the sole focus of sharing my knowledge. I found that other cosplayers are really interested in learning these techniques that I was sort of learning from more obscure sources, from books, from videos that were a little harder to find.
I love teaching cosplay. Cosplay America is actually one of my favorite conventions because I can do workshops where it's not just me showing a slideshow or demoing, it's actually people coming in and having like hands-on time. They can start to finish make something and leave with it at the convention. Don't be intimidated by people you see who are doing really amazing work, or if you try something and you kind of mess it up, don't just stop. I think that's maybe the biggest hurdle with people I talk to who are kind of new. They'll come up and they're like, oh my gosh, I could never do what you do, or I could never make that. And I could easily pull up my first costumes from 20 years ago, and I promise you, you'd be like, oh, yeah, okay, I could do that. I see where you started. A lot of times you see the finished product and you don't see how long they worked on it or the struggles, and you know, people aren't always as open to share like their mistakes because they want to be like, yeah, I did this and it's so cool. But everyone makes mistakes, and it's how you kind of recover, patch it, or learn from it and do the next costume. Don't be discouraged if you think, well, I'm not at this level I want to be at. Just keep going, and I promise you'll get there.
I have suffered so many cosplay malfunctions throughout the years. It's sort of the nature of making everything that you wear, especially when you make your own shoes. Shoes are just items that take a lot of wear and tear. But the biggest cosplay malfunction I had was actually on stage during a competition when I ate it in the middle of the stage. It ended up working out just fine. I injured myself a little bit, but I got Best in Show that year.
Probably my biggest cosplay horror story was I was working on a beautiful, huge ball gown. It was about 30 yards of fabric. It had all these different layers. It was beautiful, heavy satin. So this gorgeous, expensive fabric. And I had almost completely finished it, and I was kind of climbing out underneath, trimming threads, completely done with this thing, and just last minute things. And I cut a hole in my fabric, and I was just I remember I was in one of the workshops at my school, and I called my mom up, and I was like, I'm on the 4th floor of this building. I just cut a hole in my thing. Like, tell me not to jump, because it was one of those like just oh my gosh. But it was okay. I managed to kind of patch it and hide it, and you can't really see it, so that's good.
So one of the craziest things, and it took me years to be able to actually tell this story because I was so embarrassed. I actually left some of my body padding home from a convention. And it's not like you could just like drive home and get it. It was like 6 hours away from my house. So I was really sad at first, but then I thought, you know what, I'll just take the hotel towels. I folded them up, took my little sewing needle that I brought, sewed them into the shape I need, and sewed them and tied my costume temporarily to use as the body padding. Nobody noticed, and I went through the convention the whole way and just like using hotel towels as padding. Just have to be the MacGyver of your cosplay. Yeah.
Take advantage of your resources if you're a brand new cosplayer. Basically, any type of technique that you would ever want to work on, the internet is your friend. I learn things on every single new project. I'm constantly picking up new techniques and just kind of trying, new things.
It just makes me really happy to see other people get as excited about these techniques, because otherwise I'm alone in my basement, being like, oh, I've discovered a new way to use resin, and there's no one to really share that with. Having people learn and get excited, it just makes me as excited. It's infectious.
The reason I wanted to come out here is because the focus on teaching people and sharing techniques, showing them a different side.
Take that leap and just work on that dream project of yours. You'll pick up the skills as you go, and you will never regret doing something that you really want to do.